Wow, we made it. Episode 52 of the Begin Within podcast. This is the Begin Within podcast, where we believe real, lasting health and fitness requires you to start inside before you work out. I'm your host, Nate Slegger, and I'm here to show you behind the scenes of fitness. You already know exercise is good for you, but what about all the other things in life that affect your fitness? If you're looking for extra motivation to get started or to make sure you keep going, this is the place for you.
Produced by BeginWithin.fit.
I want to tell you about something super cool. I'm very excited about it. It is a brand new book that I wrote that you can get for free. It's called 5 Ways You're Wrecking Your Weight Loss. I want you to check it out. I want you to learn about those 5 things that we talk about in the book that will absolutely affect the results that you get. And it is not what to eat prescription, and it is not about exercise. Okay, these are different things. I hope you love it. I would love to get your feedback on it after you download it. Link is in the show notes, or you can go to beginwithin.fit and click on the ebook button. I'm going to be honest with you. When I started this project, I thought, let's do it for a year. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it takes us in the direction we want to go. And what's the direction we want to go? You know what? It was to help more people to understand the process of personal improvement through fitness and weight loss and exercise, and what was all involved behind the scenes. I wanted to have people who have made the transformation and made it permanent on the show, and I wanted to have lots of experts who do nothing more than help other people to navigate through the process day in and day out. That's what their business is all about. And I wanted them to all be real about what it takes to create permanent change when we're talking about the world of fitness and weight loss, making changes to the way we're eating, to the way we're moving, the way we're doing things so that we can become healthier versions of ourselves. And we've done it. We made it a year of doing just that. And I want to thank you so much. If you are someone who has listened to each and every episode, thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you are somebody who has shared an episode with others, thank you. If you are someone who has reached out to me or tagged me in one of your posts about one of the episodes, maybe a screenshot of what you're listening to, I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for all the feedback. I want to thank you for listening, for sharing your focus and your attention with me. Believe me, it is appreciated. Now, a little treat for this 52nd episode, the kind of celebration of the anniversary of the Begin Within podcast. What I wanted to do is try to summarize or review five of the big lessons that I have learned through hosting this show. And I wanted them to be things that I wasn't maybe anticipating that I would hear so much of, or that I would be as impacted by after myself being in the fitness industry, helping people lose weight and work out consistently for years, and now doing this podcast and connecting with other experts as well as the people that have gone through the journey, and really having an opportunity to talk with them about what it really takes, what it's all about, what are the tips and tricks and hacks that they have, but also just the absolute hard work that we have to do on the inside to begin within and be successful at the process. I wanted to share with you some of the, like I said, some of the surprises or the impressions that were made upon me in a new way after hosting this show for the last year. So let's dig in. I have 5 of them for you. There are certainly many others, and here they are. Okay, number 1. This one's kind of interesting because I started out this project. I knew that being someone who focuses on hydration and drinking water like every single day is a very important part of my day. I knew that that was an important part of the obviously health and fitness process and even the weight loss process. But what I wasn't expecting, something that surprised me in the process of hosting the show was the number of times that would come up in different realms, right? The way that staying hydrated and drinking water specifically was almost like this really foundational habit to the whole process of improving in terms of health. And here's what stuck with me. We had several guests mention that it was an important place to start. Here's the reason why. Because it's really easy. It's really easy to drink a glass of water, and it's easy to feel better after you do it. You get a quick return on your investment of time and energy and effort, right? You drink the water, you feel better. It's a quick win. And it came up several times, after everything that we talked about. Hey, what's an important place to start? And then our expert guest would say, you know what? Aside from everything I just shared, focus on water, And to me, I was like, well, that's really interesting. And that's the reason why. It's a quick win. It's easy. We also had guests who have made the journey themselves, right? And what's the answer, after you've had a rough day in terms of making healthy choices? What should you do the next day? Get started with water. That was an answer that we heard. So lesson number 1 is the importance of water, drinking water on a regular basis. And if you don't know where to start, you're not sure where to start there. Start there today. So I would encourage you, take a look at where you're at on a regular basis when it comes to hydration, when it comes to drinking water. That would be one of my big takeaways, okay? The importance of water. Number 2, we have had several guests talk about emotions as it relates to eating over the course of the year. And those have been some of the most interesting conversations to me because food and emotions are so interconnected for all of us, and they will continue to be. We have an emotional response to food. And that's just the way that it is. And in fact, we use food in a lot of, even celebratory areas of life. And it's always going to be there. It's always going to be present. So here's what I learned when it comes to food and emotions. Be aware. Be aware. It's that simple. Just be aware of the deep connection that probably already exists and that is possible between the emotions that you're feeling and the ways and the foods specifically that you're eating. Be aware. I don't think that any work done on the emotional side of eating could ever take place without that awareness piece first. So in all those conversations, what I was left with was simply, personally, becoming more aware of how food and my emotions are interacting on a daily basis. And not to say that anything is right or that it's wrong or that it's good or it's bad for today. That's for you to decide. But the simple fact that food and emotions are connected, they will be connected, they will become easily connected. So we have to be aware of the power that is there. And I think it starts with this. When it comes to eating, why? Why am I eating? That's it. Am I really hungry, or is there another reason? And if there's another reason, is eating this the best choice, or is there actually something that will fill my need even better than eating this? Just that question, why am I eating? Checking in on that. I think acknowledging the power that food has with emotions and that how deeply connected they are, we have to do it every day. Why am I eating? Just checking in on that and learning to connect, our natural sensations of hunger and fullness and things like that, just becoming more aware to begin with. And in particular around the area of food and its connection to our feelings. So number one, the importance of water. Number two, the importance of the awareness of that connection between food and feelings. Number three, the key to changing behavior. And this probably is maybe one of the biggest things that I have heard again and again and again, to the point where I'm like, hey, expert guest, don't say this because everybody's already said it. Say something else, right? How do you change your behavior? And we've heard it said so many different ways. The essence of it is this: do something. Do something. And it does not matter how small it is. In fact, so many of the guests that we've had have said, make it small on purpose. It has to be small. It has to be so small that it's easy. It's so easy you can't help but get it done. When it comes to behavior, that is the key. And when we're talking about becoming healthier, we are talking about behaviors, right? The only things that really matter when it comes to changing who we are or our level of health are the things we do every single day. And those are behaviors. And so much of life is automated by habits. So we talk about how to change behaviors. We have to address habits. How do we change habits? Small, little things that we focus on. Small steps, so small that motivation isn't an issue. It's so easy to do them. And if you make a change, you do something new day after day after day, no matter how small it is, you are on a new path. You're on a new trajectory, right? You changed by, one degree, your direction. Eventually, you're going to end up in a totally different place the longer that you go down that path. And so that's my third lesson. Changing behavior. I knew it already, but reinforcing for me small, tiny, little steps in the right direction. A question I love to ask: what's the smallest, tiniest, easiest little step that you can take today and tomorrow to move in the direction that you want to go? There's number 3. Number 4, be flexible. Especially at the end of this past year of episodes where we really focus on bringing on parents. I said it once, I'll keep saying it because I think you need to hear it. Your job is tough. It's the toughest job that there is to be a parent. What do you need to ultimately be successful in being a great parent and also improving your health at the same time? You need to be flexible. You have to be flexible. There is no room for perfectionism when it comes to moving toward healthier. Perfectionism will end up leading to disappointment. Disappointment end up leading to you feeling like you failed and maybe giving up for a certain amount of time. Just be flexible. Be realistic when it comes to maybe not your goals and what you're aiming for necessarily. It's okay to maybe aim high, but when it comes to your expectations for how things are going to turn out today, because there's so many things that are out of your control, make it as healthy as you can today. Learn from the past and make improvements for the future. Strive to maintain balance, right? Balancing day in and day out and just being flexible. Tonight, this is the healthiest version of supper that we can have. That's it. Let's just do it. Get it done. Move on. Throw some veggies with it if you can. It's done. We're moving on. We didn't fail. We're going to keep moving toward healthier. And over time, what you're going to find is the healthiest version of what supper can be tonight for your family is going to look a lot different than it did a year ago. Just keep steadily making improvements, having a backup plan, a go-to easy stuff in the freezer, all those little tips and tricks. The big, big message is be flexible. That was lesson number 4. And now lesson number 5. And this is one that I didn't expect to hear as much as I did, because it's one for me that I believe in so much, but I have always honestly been a little bit reluctant to say, hey, here's the key for you, because I have felt like I'm promoting myself, maybe as a coach, as a source of support, as a trainer, whatever it is. But so many of our guests and being on the show, people who do this day in and day out, they support other people. One of the recommendations that we hear again and again and again is, how do I do this? How do I make these big changes? How do I keep moving toward healthy? They've said, get support, get help. We get support and help with so many things in life, and these are huge changes. You have so many other things that you're focusing on when it comes to making healthier choices, improving nutrition, workouts, whatever it is. Get support. Don't be ashamed to reach out to a coach, to reach out to someone who can help you, someone who just day in and day out helps person after person, people just like you, to go from where they are now to a healthier place. That's what they do. That's their job. They have learned ways to do it better. They have learned tips and tricks and hacks to make it easier on you and for you to get results more quickly. Why go through all the pain and the frustration and the trial and error of doing it on your own when they are there? And to that point, myself, as well as each of those guests that I've had on and I've helped to promote their work and sent you toward them, I would say this: if what, they, and I'll include myself because, Begin Within, we coach nutrition. We do virtual personal training. I would say this: if the price that somebody's charging is not a good investment for you, meaning it doesn't save you time and frustration and get you results, and it's not worth what you're paying, right? It's always an investment. Then don't do it. But the bottom line is all of us exist for that reason, because we offer something that you can really view as an investment. Sure, it costs some money, but in the end, what are you getting in return? You're getting results. You're getting healthier. You are not having the risks of, even medical bills and other complications down the line. You're feeling better about yourself. You're moving in the right direction every day. It's worth it. It's worth an investment. And so I didn't expect to hear that as much from our guests because, like I said, it's something that I have felt a little maybe uncomfortable over the years saying, to someone, hey, what should I do? Hey, you should get support, right? But it makes so much sense. We all need it. And if we want to do something, we want to accomplish something in life, it just makes sense to go to someone who helps people do that thing and accomplish that thing day after day after day. And so those are the guests that we've had on, right? And so I applaud them for highlighting that when you have somebody in your corner, someone who's expecting something out of you, you do more. You just do more. We know that. Why not set yourself up for success and make it a part of your journey? Get support. That's the 5th lesson. The thing that really surprised me during this past 52 weeks of podcasting. So those 5 lessons again: the importance of water, acknowledging the power that exists between food and emotions, and being aware of it day in and day out. Number 3, change your behavior one small step at a time. Being flexible, avoiding perfectionism. 4, and then finally, support. The value of support. If you're not ready for support, that's okay. Keep doing it. You may very well figure it out just like so many others have, and that's fine. If you are ready for some results, you want it now, you want to know that you are in the process of becoming the person that you want to be, then get some support and lean on that person to help you to get from where you are now into a healthier place. I want to thank you again so much for your time and attention. Those are the most valuable things that you can share with anyone. Time and attention. And I want to thank you so much for sharing some of yours with me this past year. I want to thank you for sharing it with me today, and I want to thank you for sharing it with me in the future as we continue to work on the Begin Within podcast. Thanks so much for joining me here today. I hope you have an awesome week. I'll talk to you again next week.